Review for Get Shorty, directed by Barry Sonnenfeld. Awesome movie, starring Gene Hackman, Rene Russo, Danny DeVito, Dennis Farina. I mean, it's got a great cast. Delroy Lindo, James, the great James Gandolfini, Martin Ferrero. I mean, the cast is just amazing in this movie. Martin Ferrero is in that scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. He's the lawyer in Jurassic Park too. Where he tries to sell him a Casio, and he scene's great. But just great actors, one after the other. Say what you will about John Travolta, in movies now, I don't know. He does a lot of bad movies now, but, when the role's right for him, he's just perfect. Like this, Pulp Fiction, just absolutely perfect. The movie Blowout from the 80s. If you haven't seen that, check that out. That's a great movie. That's a Brian De Palma movie. But Get Shorty. So a mobster travels to Hollywood to collect a debt and discovers that the movie business is much the same as his current job. That pretty much sums it up. So John Travolta is the mobster. He travels out there because he needs to collect money from this guy who, through this hilarious story, or sad but hilarious in many ways, fakes his own death, because he's on a plane, and the plane, he gets off the plane because they're taking forever to take off. So he gets off, he's getting drunk, and then the plane crashes, and they think he's dead, so his wife gets a payout because of incompetence from, whatever, the pilot, or the airlines, gets a payout of like $300K, I think 300, and then she gives it to him. They think he's dead. He's gonna go into Vegas, he says, to lay low, and then he'll call her out there, but he never calls her out there. So he's like partying in Vegas, gambling, and he owes money though to John Travolta, to his boss, this guy Momo. But then that guy ends up dying, and so, but anyways, he then goes out there to get the money from him. And then he gets into Hollywood, and he starts to want to basically get into the movie business. So this is directed by Barry Sonnenfeld. He was a cinematographer for the Coen brothers. He did like Blood Simple, Raising Arizona, Miller's Crossing, bunch of good movies, and then he started directing movies, and this is one of his. He directed Men in Black. Let's see what else. Some episodes of The Tick. Never seen that, but here it's good. He did The Addams Family. That was his first movie. The Addams Family director, Addams Family Values, Get Shorty, Men in Black, Wild Wild West, which is not very good. After Wild Wild West, his career kind of went downhill. I mean, he did Men in Black 3. I didn't think that was terrible. I thought that was okay. So, For Love or Money, with Michael J. Fox. Never seen that, but good director. He definitely shows off his skill here. It's a very slick movie, the way it's directed. I really like the camera work that I'm thinking of one shot where it's think it's like zooming out of like a limo on the top of the limo while they get into it. Um, I think it zooms in. They're like walking towards it. It's zooming down, and then they get in. Like just really good camera work. I mean, obviously he was a cinematographer, so he knows what he's doing. Wonder who shot this movie. Wonder if he do the cinematography on his own movies? No, Donald Peterson. Yeah, that's pretty rare that a director shoots his own movies because it's like that's probably so much work. Oh, okay, this guy shot Point Break, Men in Black, so this is his cinematographer. Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, Flashdance, Cocoon. Um, yeah, so good cinematographer, Donald Peterman. But yeah, really entertaining movie. It's really funny. Danny DeVito is this big Hollywood star, but he's like kind of wishy-washy on when he commits to a movie or not. So John Travolta thinks he could get him. Rene Russo is her ex is Danny DeVito is her ex-husband. Um, Gene Hackman makes these like B movies that Rene Russo sometimes stars in. He's sleeping with her, and he wants to use him to help produce the movie about that guy that was in that plane accident, or wasn't, but they think was, and he got a huge payout. He wants to make a movie about that. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of funny scenes in this, like when John Travolta, just the Dennis Farina is like kind of like is another mob guy, and he's kind of being, like an ass to John Travolta, and John Travolta just punches him in the face. And throughout the rest of the movie, Farina has like this, huge. His nose is all bent. He totally messed up his nose. And then, like a few scenes after he does that, Dennis Farina's all pissed because he can't touch John Travolta because his boss is Travolta's boss. But then that guy ends up dying. His name's Momo. So then he's like, okay, I'm gonna go kill John Travolta. He's then walking. He goes into his office. Travolta's waiting for him with a gun, and then Travolta just ends up shooting him like right at the top of the just skirts right here. So that he totally messes up his hairline, and then the rest of the movie he just has like this like giant like basically hole in his hair. But yeah, the movie's got a great sense of humor, but it also remains a little bit tense, but it's got a very quirky kind of humor to it, which I think's a lot of fun. I know that they made like a TV series about this. I don't know if it's good. I mean, it's not John Travolta. It's like I don't know how you can really replace him. Like he's just perfect for the role. So I don't know. Ray Romano's in it and someone else. Delroy Lindo's in this. I really like this actor. He's in Gone in 60 Seconds. The one with Nicolas Cage. He's just a really interesting actor. It's very intense actor. But he's also tied up in all this because Gene Hackman owes him money for a movie he never made. He gave him like I think 100 or 200K to make a movie, to produce it. He never made it, so he owes him money. And Gene Hackman also has this other script called Mr. Lovejoy, I think, and it's like a really good script. He thinks it will win Academy Awards, and he wants to make that. And John Travolta is like going to produce that, and then also they're going to make his movie about the guy that owes him money, which he ends up getting later. But then Delroy Lindo wants to produce the Lovejoy script because he finds out about it and he reads it and it's really good, but John Travolta doesn't want him to, so that there's that happening, and in the end of the movie, that kind of goes into a crescendo. So and then James Gandolfini is working for Delroy, and he's kind of like his like heavy. He's his not his body. He was bodyguard, but he's an ex stuntman who also used to work. Who also worked in some pictures that some B movie pictures. So he's kind of connected to Gene Hackman too, and Rene Russo. Like I think she says he was in one of her movies. So, but yeah, very entertaining movie. I know there's a sequel called Be Cool. I don't know. I watched it years ago. I don't really remember. Just remember it's not very good. I think it got bad reviews. I don't know if that's based on Elmore Leonard. This is based on an Elmore Leonard novel. He said this is the best film adapted from one of his books. So, oh wow, John Travolta initially declined an offer to be in the movie, but was convinced by Tarantino to do it. Well, that was a good choice. I don't know, maybe he was like, no, I'm going to be too busy. I'm going to be making a great movie called Battlefield Earth. Which is one of the worst movies ever made, definitely. But hilariously bad, though. Check out the riff tracks if you've ever seen riff tracks. It's so funny. Gene Hackman turned down this movie at first, but he doesn't really, because he doesn't really do comedies. That's true. Another actor I love Gene Hackman. He's one of my favorite actors ever, I would say. Barry Sonnenfeld said that exactly the attitude he wanted from him on set. Play it straight, let the audience decide if it's funny. Yeah, he's amazing in this too. But it's true, he doesn't really do that many comedies. According to Elmore Leonard, Martin Weir, Danny DeVito is based on Leonard's own dealings with Dustin Hoffman. Oh, wow. Gene Hackman's based Harry Zimm on an agent he used to know. He was the phoniest man he ever knew. When people in West Hollywood first saw the billboard with Danny DeVito dressed up as Napoleon Bonaparte, credited with Martin Weir's name, they thought it was a real one and DeVito might have changed his name. The film crew had to explain to the residents it was just a prop. MGM didn't want to extensively use Leonard's inspired dialogue for the film and pushed Barry Sonnenfeld and Scott Frank to make many passages more generic than the book. Wow. But once Travolta signed on to the film, he successfully pressured the studio to leave Frank's original draft, which had a lot of colorful dialogue, intact for filming. A specific example of this result came from the sequence where Travolta goes to retrieve his coat from Ray Bones, Dennis Farina. And yeah, John Travolta is a huge movie buff. I can see why Tarantino likes this because they talk about movies a lot. He goes to see some classic movies. Like I think he takes Rene Russo out on a date to go there because they start seeing each other. Yeah, Beth Midler's in it, and Harvey Keitel's in one scene at the end. That's great. Oh, Samuel L. Jackson was the first choice for the role of Bo Catlett. Okay, that's Delroy Lindo. I'm glad it's not him. I'm glad it's Delroy Lindo because I mean, Samuel L. Jackson. He's in so many movies. He's in so many great movies. I really like that actor. He's only in a few things I've seen. I mean, he's in, like I said, Gone in 60 Seconds, and he's a really good actor. MGM's executive's first choice to direct was Tarantino. Tarantino directed another film based on the Leonard book, Jackie Brown. Well, I'm glad he did Jackie. I like Jackie Brown a lot too, but I don't know. I think I may like this a little more. I'm not sure. It's at least I'd say on par with Jackie Brown. Um, I don't think it'd be as funny. I think if Tarantino directed it, I don't know. Maybe not. You know, maybe that's just I don't know. But not that Tarantino can't do funny, but just different. But yeah, I really like Jackie Brown, so I'm glad he did that. Then we have this, and Out of Sight's good too, but not as good as these two, I'd say. And then there's another movie that is based on Elmore Leonard, but I haven't seen. But I think it's called Touch. But yeah, Roger Ebert gave it 3.5 stars out of 4. It's fair. I'd maybe go 4, but 3.5, 4. But yeah, he really liked it, but one of the pleasures of Get Shorty is, he says this, is watching the way the plot moves effortlessly from crime to the movies, not a long distance, since both industries are based on fear, greed, creativity, and intimidation. Elmore Leonard's characters may exist in the crevices of society, but they are smart and verbal and don't take forever to get to the point. There are a lot of scenes in the movie where people come into the room wanting one thing and leave wanting another. They are persuaded to change their minds by the seductive lure of Hollywood. Even Barboni, one of Farina's best performances with a broken nose that grows more painful to look at every time we see it, is not immune to the glitter. Of course, this is low-grade glitter. We met a gallery of characters all played in a laconic key as the Hollywood types for whom all sentiments are cynical. Harry Zimm, for example, is found in bed with Karen Flores, Rene Russo, a scream queen who is kind of the actress who becomes a cover girl for Fangoria. She used to be married to Martin Weir, Danny DeVito, a major, if short, movie star. They all seem to get Shorty into their picture. And the movie's single best scene is one where Travolta gives Danny DeVito acting lessons and how to look filled with menace. Many characters seem lifted from the autobiography of Ed Wood. Bo Catlett, Delroy Lindo, who owns a limousine service and is owed big money by Zimm. Bear, James Gandolfini, a stuntman who thinks he is very tough but has never met anyone like Chili Palmer before, and Doris Bette Miller, an uncredited cameo whose success is based on being as close to the 1930s sex siren as anyone is likely to get in this lifetime. So yeah, he highlights the dialogue's amazing, but yeah, I really like the movie. Check it out. Get Shorty. Great cast, great movie. And that's about it. Like, comment below, and see you next time.